Hey,
And
everybody.
live.
We're live. Dane, you take it away, man.
What's up, YouTube community? We'll just sort of sit here awkwardly and stare at you for about 30 seconds, and then we'll start talking. Let everyone sort of filter in here. How's everybody doing? My name is Dane. I'm the marketing director for Super Shiba at the SafeDex.
And joining Dane, I'm Byron. I'm here involved in some of the vetting processes for our SafeDex. We've also got Ben. You want to introduce yourself, Ben?
Yeah. My name is Ben, and I'm the community director here at Super Shiba. And I'm super excited for tonight. This is going to be fun.
And we've got Gareth down here as well, which I think, Gareth, are you on mute? Just introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Business Development Director at Super Shiba. Good to be here. Awesome. I'm excited for this.
And who we got across the room there, over there with HODL in the background? These guys are on audio, so HODL community, let's hear from you.
Yeah, hey everyone. Pretty stoked to be out here and seeing you guys in person in a way. COVID times definitely is making this the new reality. But yeah, just want to say a big shout out and a big thanks to for having us here, doing all of this, and pretty stoked and pretty excited to be here.
Awesome. Who else we got behind the scenes? I think I forgot to mention our dev, Inu, is here.
Yeah, hi everyone, it's Anthony. I'm the dev of the Super Shiba exchange, so I'm here in the background as well.
I got a full house tonight.
And then we got Ben and Pat back there. You guys know them if you're from the HODL community. What's up, Ben? What's up, Pat?
Hey, yeah, I'm Ben, the marketing spokesman for HODL. So yeah, super excited as well to be here, and let's have some fun.
All right, guys. Well, I'll kind of kick us off here and I know a lot of you must be wondering what is Super Shiba. You may never have heard of it. We are kind of, we're sort of new, but we think we're a big deal because what we're doing is we're cleaning up the entire DeFi space by only allowing people that have audited fully to come onto our exchange. And so our awesome developer, Dev Inu, who you just heard from, has actually created a fully functioning exchange. It took him just under 2 weeks to do that. And we've got farming, staking, we've got a lottery on there, we've got all sorts of cool things. But we're going to be listing HODL token as our 4th listing on there. So they'll be front and center on our exchange. And basically what we offer is not only another way to buy the HODL token other than PancakeSwap and BKEX, but also a way that you guys can see that HODL is extremely legitimate. Because as I mentioned, we only allow certain projects to come on that we've thoroughly vetted, audited, and sometimes doxed even, yes. So with that, Ben, is there anything else you want to say about our community before we get going on some of the questions for these awesome guys at HODL?
Yeah, it's early days, but I think the thing that I'm the most proud of our community for is that it's a chat filled with visionaries, and they want to make a lot of money, like we all do. They have aspirations for their families, but they want to be able to rest their head at night and know that they helped create a better place in the crypto space. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're not basically saying that if you come on our SafeDex that there's no risk. We're still in the crypto world, right? But what we're saying is we want to make it where all of the important things you should know before you make a trade, like is liquidity locked, or if the tokenomics allow it, is the ownership renounced, and is it not, and why is it not? And if it's not, has this team looked over? Have we looked over their code? Have we looked over everything ourselves and really serve as like a middleman between the person who's investing and the onslaught of tokens that are coming online all the time, and saying, hey, we've researched, Dane, we've turned down, actually, Gareth, you'd be able to kind of chime in on this. We've turned down a lot of tokens, and that's not very good for you when you're brand new to turn down tokens. It's more advantageous for you to get as many tokens as you can on your exchange, but we've turned them down because it just didn't fit the standards of what we had. Can you chime in a little bit about that, Gareth?
Yeah, so I think we've rejected, not rejected, we've turned down about 60% of the applications so far. But we're actually helping them and advising them as well. So people who aren't getting on the list, and we're saying, okay, this is what you need to fulfill. This is the criteria. Come back in future. And it's upping everyone's game, right? It's upping everyone's game in the whole DeFi space. So it's amazing. And I think one of the things that you touched on there, Ben, is that we share the same vision as HODL, which this is one of the reasons why we're really excited to have them on board. And all the people who are getting listed with on the SafeDex, the Super Shiba SafeDex, we're sharing that same vision, and it's awesome. You know, we're trying to fucking change the DeFi space, make it a better, safer place for people to operate in. I wonder if we can jump into some questions. I think, like, I love HODL Token. I've known about HODL Token for a few weeks now, and I think it's excellent about what you guys are doing with the project. But for people who are perhaps new to HODL, like, where the fuck have you been? But also, let's try and explain something about what HODL is for these guys, right? So can I hand over to someone in the HODL team and ask, can you give us an overview about what HODL is? When have you been? When were you created? What's your vision? A bit about your tokenomics and perhaps unique selling points.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll take that over. And before we like just move into like giving an overview of HODL and like what it is all about, I just want to like quickly touch upon this this point that you brought up on, you know, what is the goal, what is the mission of SafeDex, and also for HODL in a way, you know, like I think what these two projects are going to do, like they want to basically change the perception of the industry, especially in the BSC market right now, right? Like we see like a lot of scams happening, a lot of rug pulls happening, and also a lot of people, you know, just coming in and like blatantly asking questions around, has the ownership been renounced and all of that stuff. So I think the key out here is not just like doing stuff for the sake of doing it, but it's also about like education. Like we need to make people understand like why are we doing and what is the rationale and the logic behind it, right? Like if there is rationale, like definitely go with that. And if someone can explain that, I think that's something that brings about the authenticity in the project, right? So yeah, like I think the last time when we had that chat, like with you guys, I think what we understood from you, your vision, your direction, I think it's in sync and it's in align, like in the same direction as like what we are thinking. We're not just here to like, you know, create a project and like just be done with it. We actually want to like change the industry, like especially the BSC market right now. And that's the same vision that I think SafeDex also has, like from my brief conversations with you guys. So yeah, like I think that is one of the things that makes it like, you know, a perfect partnership in a way.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree on that. That we've got that perfect partnership. Both have that vision to, you know, clean up and bring something new and revolutionize this DeFi space. Particularly for some of our Super Shiba viewers that might not know about what HODL tokens bring, can you discuss? You've got token HODL Dev here. You've got a really sort of revolutionary tokenomics of this project, right? And this is like, you know, one of the key selling points for, and it really ties into the name of the HODL token. Could you explain that to our Super Shiba viewers?
Yeah, definitely. I think the way I would like to, you know, put HODL is like I basically like to call it the third phase of DeFi. In the if you basically look at the evolution of DeFi market, again we are like totally in the nascent stage. You basically first we brought in the decentralized exchanges, then basically with the reflection.finance coming in, we start looking at the reflection mechanics coming in, which was basically made popular with SafeMoon, you know, gaining so much popularity. I think so now we have basically taken it to the next level. For me, like this is the third phase personally in the evolution of DeFi. So what happens out here is like we're basically trying to, you know, like mitigate risk for like the investors by paying them like in a currency which is kind of stable, like stable in terms of the crypto market, right? So the idea is like, if I just give you reflection or like we just redistribute.
I think we might have just lost you there, HODL Dev. Just
yeah, I think the internet connection might have just dropped out, and then I'll admit him back in when he comes back in.
Okay.
So, no, Ben, you want to take over from there and just sort of give the guys here that are new to HODL from Super Shiba community, just kind of give them that continuation of what the Dev was saying there about how you guys reward BNB to your users, and how exactly do you do that? Like how, you know, how does that work to someone that doesn't understand that?
Yeah, you'll buy the HODL token, you'll hold it in your wallet, and then you've got the tokenomics of the 10% tax on the buy and the sell. So the 4.5 people, and then you connect through, for example, your Trust wallet. You'll go through the browser, connect to HODLtoken.net, then ensure you're on the Binance Smart Chain, launch the app, connect the wallet, and you've got basically it will show you all of like your yearly, what will be, obviously it will fluctuate, but it will just show you a rough guide of what your yearly passive income can be. It will give you your daily, it will give you a time which is specific to you in whatever country you're in, and all you have to do is every 24 hours this button. It's like clocking in and out for work, but you're only in it for about 30 seconds, so it's a really good day's pay. Yeah, like how much we've learned from them guys. And then there was a really good description of how SafeMoon of the cheeseburger, we've added some bacon. So we're just constantly trying to make this DeFi
I just
space
want to make everyone aware that we
and,
did, HODL Dev is back in the chat.
It's really exciting.
Sorry, Ben.
Yes, sorry about
Just so the chat knows.
Who doesn't want bacon on their burger?
Yeah.
Everyone wants bacon.
Yeah. So sorry
guys.
about that. I don't know, like there was some network issues or something. So yeah, like
No.
so the way I was talking about, the tokenomics. So the idea is, we have people like, the best thing is like, this is a global thing, right? Like the crypto industry is a global thing. It's a global phenomenon. We are out here to like disrupt the traditional and the centralized market that we are in. So I think like this touches upon a very key aspect of like, are the current financial institutions, are the current financial models market, like are they up to the mark, or like that be bettered in, right? So the idea is like with HODL, we are going to provide you a passive income on a daily basis. And this is quite different from the phase that we saw with DeFi, where you had like the staking and farming coming in, where people basically went in with the APY in the initial phase, and then basically it died down because it was an unsustainable mechanism, because you had to basically either mint the tokens, or like you had to keep a big chunk of it with you in the initial phase. So, but with this redistribution model, what is happening is it's basically, creating what I like to call a sine curve. So basically, we see the crest, we see the troughs, but it's also moving in an ascending direction. So that's how I like to visualize the entire redistribution happening. That's how I like to basically lay it out on the graph. That I like to see it. And that's what we've seen as well. The BNB pool goes up, it goes down. But again, like still, like there hasn't been a day where like you look at the timeline required to like recoup your initial investment. Like the maximum that we have hit is like, it's always been under a year, like less than a year. I just want to ask, like, which financial institution can do that? Like, and that's just by holding the tokens, and the value of the tokens is appreciating at the same time. Like, so that's just like an addition. People, like the surprising thing is people have actually stopped looking at the price of the HODL tokens that they're holding. It's just about the daily BNB they're getting. So that's hitting, the instant gratification that we want to hit, like, because that's like, we come from a data science background. We have studied like behavioral economics in depth. So this is how we know like how the human psyche works. We know how the human mind works. We know like what it wants, what it does not want. So I think like a lot of things came in together, like with the inception of this. So it was about financial disruption. It was about like, there was this quote by Warren Buffett, right? Like, and he's one of the most influential people out there who does not believe in crypto. So like that added to our motivation. So he said like, if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you would be like just working forever for your life. So we thought like, yeah, like can we do something about it? And yeah, like we are basically creating passive income on a daily basis now for everyone. So yeah, like you don't have to do anything. You just got to sleep, chill, enjoy the time, and keep hodling. That's the idea.
It's like it's essentially universal basic income. And you talk about taking the financial institutions by storm. You guys have so quickly, in just basically 3 weeks approximately, taken the entire DeFi space by storm. I've been involved with HODL myself since pretty much day 2, and I've got to watch their evolution. And along that way of their evolution, I've seen a lot of copycats come around. And the thing that those copycats don't have is they don't have this awesome dev that HODL has. He behind the scenes, there's a lot that's going on to make this happen, to where you can have passive income being distributed. And it's essentially a giant math problem. Is that right, HODL dev? Would you agree? It's kind of like a giant ongoing math problem. So if you're just copying it, you're going to have a hard time keeping up. So is that true, or am I just imagining that?
No, definitely. I always like to quote the example of, like Facebook versus MySpace. So at the core of it, at the foundation of it, both the projects were same, right? But like MySpace faded out. It was killed brutally by Facebook. So we need to understand what happened out there, right? So it basically everything boiled down to the vision of Mark Zuckerberg. I know a lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him. We are not touching upon that subject. What I want to touch upon is what differentiated the two. Really the vision. It was basically the developments coming in on a daily basis. It was the small changes like the inception of the world. It was stuff like having the relationship status, being there on the Facebook platform, which MySpace did not have, and they did not value it. I think that's what makes us different. Being decentralized, having a public smart code, obviously exposes us to the, people can come in, they can copy the contract, they can have their own project. It's good. In a way, it's good for us because, I don't know, a week down the line, a couple of weeks down the line, the developments won't happen because they don't have the same vision that we have. And it won't behave in the same evolutionary phase that people want it to. So I think that's the key difference out here. It's not just about the tokenomics. It's not just about the marketing. It's also about having a vision. It's also about being flexible and dynamic in terms of adapting. I think that is the key. And that is something that I've learned personally from my experience in the startup ecosystem. It's never about the idea. Ideas always evolve. It's always about the team. It's always about how flexible you are to to adapt, to understand what's the problem statement. Again, one of my core philosophies has been figuring out a solution is one of the most easiest things in the world. But identifying the problem, that's the toughest thing, because you would overlook the problem statements n number of times. For instance, we face this issue with the small investors. We have a chunk of people, almost 30 to 40% of our holders, who actually have to pay more gas fees compared to the daily rewards that they are gaining. So that's a loss, and that's something that we did not foresee. Obviously we knew this would happen, but the percentage that we assumed was between 10 to 20%. But when it went to 30 to 40%, obviously it posed a good problem statement for us. So that was the thing, and we basically acted upon it, and we in the small investors pool. So what we have done now is, for people who are paying more gas fees than their daily rewards, we are essentially going to be reimbursing their gas fees, and we have increased their accumulation cycle to 3 days instead of the daily rewards, so that they get more rewards and the gas fee is also reimbursed back to them. I think these are the kind of things that differentiates HODL, and that's the thing that's basically going to make us different or make us evolve in the future.
Yeah, that's huge, man. I consider you guys to be the trendsetter. I often say I saw a lot of SafeMoon clones. I saw a lot of Elongate clones. I saw a lot of Shiba clones, but there was only one of those 3 types. And I believe that you guys are that one. And there's a lot of people that want to copy your vision because it's such a great vision. How can you not want to copy it? And so you guys are doing a huge thing, literally creating generational wealth and almost a system of universal basic income, harnessing the DeFi platform where the people kind of have control of the money they want to make. And it's so cool. And you made a great point there about your ability to problem solve. And that is another thing that from an outsider looking in, I saw you doing from the beginning. whereas others, when they've run into problems, they've just sort of fallen flat on their face. So that's something that I'm sure everyone in the community at HODL loves. It's certainly something that I love. And with that said, any of you guys got any more questions for him? Moving on to the next topic.
So one thing, I don't know if we're going to... You go, Ben.
No. I always go first.
Okay. One thing, I don't know if we're going to come to this next stage, so just tell me if we're going to cover it later. But we have a very interesting, I think, really cool proposition of how we will incorporate HODL into some of the marketing funds for some of the tokens that we list. Is this something you want to touch on now, or?
Yeah, we can touch on that. Anthony, would you, or Devi, would you be willing to go over that?
Sure. In regards to tokens we're listing, did you say?
Yeah, well, I remember we had touched on an idea to where tokens that list in our exchange can come in and see HODL as a way to actually bolster their marketing funds going forward, as opposed to just having it sit there and sort of dry up. Is that right?
Something I was more actually interested in that I spoke to a HODL dev about that I think we're going to work on is actually having a front end on the exchange where holders of HODL can claim their BNB through our exchange super easily. In terms of something like that, because we only sort of discussed it yesterday, I couldn't say anything definitely, but we're definitely going to work on a bigger level with HODL just because of the idea that they have, because of our relationship with the team and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. That's the first I've heard of that. That makes me excited. And Ben, what about you? What was the question you had? We'll touch on more of that and how we can work together towards the end of this. But what was you going to say there, Ben?
I'm a sucker for stories. I love the story behind something, and I just maybe for the whole team, or maybe just for the HODL dev, the story behind coming to you needed to do this. Like what was behind you that said, I have to do this? Because it's a lot of work. We've found that as a team, it's a lot of work. And so what was it for you that you were finally like, okay, we've got to do this?
Yeah, so I think like, I don't think there was a proper eureka moment per se. Like, like one day, like you're just jumping all over the place thinking, oh, like you've cracked it. I think that did not happen. I think that happened in like multiple phases, but like it was a lot of things coming together, like we have to be cognizant about the fact like a project like HODL would not be possible like 6 months ago, because there's a lot of infrastructure like the Binance Smart Chain, which has come in, which has helped this project, like having exuberant gas fees, like what's happening on the ERC network. Definitely something that would make this project like not even feasible. So I think like it's a function of like a lot of things coming together. It's also about again, like that thing I mentioned about Warren Buffett, right? Like that was something that was like that hit us hard, and like we were looking at it. Like I think there was a point in time when it was trending on social media a lot, and like it was just right there in our face. And like we were in the middle of like brainstorming about all of these ideas, and we were like, yeah, like in a way we are actually hitting that, and it would be really cool like one day to have like Warren Buffett or like someone like Charlie Munger post about this, where they accept like, yeah, this is actually a cool industry, this is actually a revolutionizing stuff, like people have actually taken it to the next phase, like this is how the financial mechanism should like evolve. I think that's the key, that's the goal. Again, like it's about changing the stuff, like like there's another one of my favorite quotes from Newton. It says like seen afar, that's by standing on the shoulder of giants. So we accept like we haven't invented the wheel, and we don't intend to do that as well. We just want to evolve, like human as a species is different from like the other species, and like we have evolved to like where we are right now by doing this thing. We've always like built upon what was already there, and I think HODL presents like that next step. Like I would be more than happy to see, someone come in and like build in the fourth phase of DeFi.
Yes, it's good stuff, man. I have to say, it is one of the most cool things I've ever been a part of. I have been a part of some of the bigger coins that I just mentioned, and I got shook out by one of them. I won't name names, and then instantly regretted it later because it was worth so much more. I'm now pretty heavy in HODL, and we've had our ups and downs so far, and I'm not getting shook out because I'm getting paid every day. It's one of the most cool concepts. I don't have to sell any of my tokens. I just have a side bag coming into me every day. It's so neat, and it's so bullish, honestly, because everyone in this space, let's be honest, we're all here to make money, right? We'd be lying if we said otherwise. But another one of my favorite things about your vision that we haven't touched on is also the fact that you have a charity pool built into that reward system. I believe it's 20%. And so every time someone collects that reward, that's a bigger whale like me, it goes to 20% of that goes to a charity. Is that right, guys?
Yeah. So what is this like? So whenever the claim is more than 1 PM, this is daily claim, by the way. So there is a tax of 20% on that. So it's not perfectly the charity pool now. So what we have done is we basically call it the resource pool. So we also use it for like days when have low volume, because again redistribution is the key behind this tokenomics. So what happens is like a part of it is put back into the main pool. Again, on the low volume days, like a part of it basically goes to the charities. Again, like we still haven't made our first donation. We're still like figuring out like which are the charities where we want to like go and donate. We do something good. Like this is not like something we team has an expertise in. So we don't want to like just quickly jump into that and like go and donate. Like donate it to someone like where nothing will happen. Again, the idea is we want to like create art, not just for DeFi, not to alter people's lives. Like more than this, I think this idea and thought of like donations for charities, stem that thought.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. You're giving back to your users, but you've also got a charity pool built up to give back even more in bigger ways in the future. And so you definitely don't want to rush that because you want to make sure it's used very wisely. It sounds like you guys are doing that, so I think that's so cool. And speaking of reaching a lot of people and making a big difference, maybe Ben, HODL, and Pat can come in on this. So to me, the only thing this token has to do to grow at this point is just get in people's eyes. It's just get it in front of people. It sells itself. People are trying to copy it. It's everything seems so great about it. Being a part of it for so long, I can attest to that. So what are you guys doing for your marketing as far as what you can tell us without giving too much away? What kind of vision for that do you have coming forward that you maybe can elaborate on for the audience here? I'm sure they would love to hear that.
I don't hear from Ben yet, but I'll go ahead and just say it right here. Like today we launched our TikTok ads. We're actually running TikTok ads through their advertising unit, not just through random, people just asking for promoting, but we're running legitimate TikTok ads through there. We're in the process of vetting our YouTube ads to actually run through there. So that's just some marketing just to get it in front of people's faces, because we can really be a lot more targeted and garner a larger audience in that direction.
Very nice.
Yeah, and apart from that, we're also doing some cool stuff, so we had the Miami blockchain conference, and I don't know if you guys saw the video, but we had a plane with a hot banner, which basically went around the whole of Miami for a couple of hours. That was basically the ways to do the guerrilla marketing. We also had a lot of folks where we had our QR code stickers printed. People were just going around putting the stickers on everyone, just like the shitcoin conferences, making people aware about what HODL is. Again, I think it just takes a couple of minutes for someone to understand the concept, and they instantly get onto it. We have already needed a lot of marketing activities. We are getting a lot of influencers as well, TikTokers, as Pat change. We've already started the TikTok ads, YouTube ads are going live as well. So yeah, like it's like a lot of things coming together, and like we are also in talks to like do some like one of a big and a creepy. So like
Nice.
we're reviewing right now because we are still in the middle of closing that deal. Yeah, like something big is coming.
Yeah, and I heard you guys are talking about exchanges as well. And I know that they make you guys sign NDAs, so you can't say anything about that. So I won't really ask. I just know they're coming because obviously a project this scale, that's something they look to. So we're honored to have you here. You know, we plan to morph into one of those big exchanges that you may be reaching out to. We may be sort of on the smaller end here now, and just sort of a badge for you guys to prove that you're a safe project. But just to tell you a little bit about going back to Super Shiba and the SafeDex and what we aim to become. We aim to become the CoinGecko, the coin market cap of DeFi, of Binance Smart Chain. When people look for investments, we want them to come to our listing service and our exchange to find them. And we want Binance to come to us. We want to become the Binance DeFi. We're going to make so much noise with the projects that we bring on here, starting with HODL, that Binance comes to us. We won't even have to come to them because they'll want us. And that's sort of our goal here. And you guys will be the pioneers of that. People will see HODL front and center on our corporate website, listing all these info, account creation, graphs, all these things that we'll have in the future. Everyone will see your project. And I think this partnership can be super beneficial for both of us as we continue to grow and provide services for our users. So with that said, before we open it up to the floor here for YouTube, is there anything else that the team here wants to ask HODL, or anything else that the HODL team wants to say before we get crazy and answer some of these YouTube questions?
I just want to make a comment if I can. Is that all right, Dane?
Of course.
I just want to say from one to another how grateful we are to have steamed ahead, that you've solved these problems, that you're committed to your community, that you're not gonna dip if the market dips, that you're committed to keep going forward, because this is very difficult to do. And when you're behind the scenes and you're making all those calls and you're doing all those things at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and you've gone 20 hours and you haven't slept, when you see another team that's like got a vision and they've got an energy and they've got a passion, you're like, you want to salute, because you're like, I know what you're doing. I know those late nights you're taking, and I know what the sweat, blood, and tears you're pouring into it. Say thank you for having a vision, not just to come in and make money, but also to redistribute wealth all over the world. I think what you guys are doing, and I'm just excited that we get to partner with you guys.
Yes, well said, Ben. Anything else you guys want to say before we open up the floor to the comments? All right,
Let's
Ben,
go.
you want to do this here? Let's start picking through them here. It looks like we've had them flooding through at any point, so it's kind of just going to be a little bit of luck of the draw here, I think. But we'll sort of open up the floor to the whole team here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do make a comment. When it said that it's breaking up all the time, people are going to watch it back and say it's breaking up all the time. I think we have like about 8 or 9 continents coming into one internet connection. So is sometimes trying to link all that together. I just got a message from Ben HODL. It kicked him again, and it kicked HODL Dev. And so we're trying to connect everyone. We're trying to connect everyone together. So I just apologize for the say we're connecting from literally all over the world right now, multiple time zones. So thank you for being patient about it. Are you guys back? Can you hear me?
Ben says he's trying to come back in, Ben.
Yeah, Ben, are you here?
I think it's an issue with the UA as well, because the voice thing, the VoIP, is like it's a little tricky out here.
Okay.
How do we sound to anyone in the YouTube chat? Let's see what you guys say. Anyone having trouble hearing us?
Yeah, it's pretty choppy. Yeah, how about can we switch to Telegram real quick? We've kind of given a full presentation here. Can we switch to Telegram and go on to voice chat, Dane? Ben was just suggesting that because he can't connect.
Yeah, let's go on over to which community you want to do it in. We go to HODL?
Let's go over to the Super. Yeah, let's go over to the HODL one. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go HODL.
Okay, HODL
Let's
it
go
is.
HODL. Super Shiba
All right,
let's go HODL.
Thank you everyone for watching. We're going to be over in the Telegram for HODL, so come join us over there. We're going to kind of just go through the chat and field everyone's questions as best we can. We appreciate you guys taking the time, HODL team. It's a pleasure to work with you. And Anthony, one more thing before you go. Are we going to list this token today on the exchange?
It depends on HODL dev, but that's the plan. I'm ready to list it whenever. Yeah.
There you have it, guys. We should be live soon. How awesome
and Anthony, thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate you taking out the time from your evening to come as well.
Of course, anytime. Anytime.
All right, we're going to end this stream and we'll go over to voice chat.
All right, gentlemen, we'll see you over there. It is HODL Investors Group is the name of the Telegram, if anyone wondering. See you all over there.
And I will link it in the Super Shiba chat for anyone hearing from Super Shiba.
Cheers, guys. See you.